Ronda plans a girls' trip. The Bellas are back, and Carmella is a liar. Stay tuned for all of this and more.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz.
Hey, hey, hey,
hey, hey, hey. Feel the glow.
I feel the glow. I feel the energy. I am so excited to be here with you guys, of course.
Absolutely.
So excited.
I love my people who join me every single
And we love you.
Tuesday. Right? Tuesday at 9 p.m.?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Now let's tell the people who you are.
Oh,
Ollie
me?
Dreamer.
Oh, well, I'm Ollie Dreamer, Ollie Drennan, whatever you want to call me. That's my wrestling name, Ollie Dreamer.
Oh.
You know, no, not at all. But I'm like one of the biggest Divas fans out there. You know, I've been watching Total Divas since it first aired, and also I'm the biggest Trish fan and Lita fan. They're
Yes.
most iconic women's wrestling feud in WWE history. Just saying. Just saying.
He is our Diva super fan of the show.
Yes.
And then Jenny from the block, block of
Yes.
AfterBuzz, who takes care of everything here. She is a Carmella super fan.
Right.
Yes, biggest Carmella super fan. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I love it. I adore them. I'm here for them.
Yes, and I am your host, Leslie Colon, and I am a big wrestling fan. I talk about wrestling all the time, not in this language, in Spanish.
Yes.
Every Monday
She is,
on Raw.
she's the host with the most, y'all.
Yes.
Just saying.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What were your guys' overall thoughts on this episode? Ollie, give it to me.
Okay. You know I have to say this.
Breathe.
Guys, where was Liv Morgan? No.
So true.
It was really interesting an episode. It was kind of a laid back episode. It wasn't too much action. I thought we were going to get a little bit more interaction with some of the girls. But I will say, I was so surprised, though, in this episode, which we'll talk about. Nattie was hilarious.
Oh, my
gosh. Nattie is the crazy cat lady. She's bonkers, but she was on another level this episode. And I was honestly here for it. Absolutely. Everyone was a little bit kind of... little sleepy, I guess, for lack of a better term. But Nattie was just giving it to me this episode. I was really enjoying her because sometimes I feel like Nattie doesn't get like the best like screen time. I don't know. She's always kind of like the moderator, the narrator of the seasons. But I lived for her commentary.
Me too.
I feel like she's like the mom of
Right.
like, the cast.
Because
Like,
she's been there.
kind of like the leader
Right.
and everyone else. So
She's definitely the veteran of the show and also in
Right.
wrestling. So
Yeah.
Right.
it makes sense.
Right. But that's a good point that you said that Liv Morgan wasn't there, because on last week's episode, we end on Ronda telling Liv first, like, about the trip. So
Right.
it was interesting to see that she wasn't there. But Jen, what were your thoughts on this episode?
Well, I was kind of a little disappointed that we didn't see all the girls on the trip, because
Right.
last week they teased it up to like a big
Right.
moment, that it was going to be such a big moment this episode.
Yeah.
So it was kind of disappointing to see just Sonya and Nattie go in this big old bus, and it was just them two.
Yeah.
And, you know, so yeah, I kind of wanted to see more of that, especially with Sonya and Ronda talking and stuff. So, but yeah, it was a really laid back. It was still a good episode, but it was just a little bit more laid back. Like we were
Right. I feel like there wasn't enough, like, big moments or anything to the point where we're like, oh my gosh.
It
like,
stood out, yeah.
Right.
It
And
was
I
a
think
little filler.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I felt like it felt very put together, especially with the Bellas returning. I am so happy about that. But you know, that did seem like it was very like, okay, we don't have, you know, anything else to put together. Let's just throw it in,
Right.
Because you know the Bellas
Right.
aren't really part of this
Yeah.
season, so it was interesting to see that. But let's go ahead and talk about this trip. So Ronda Rousey, you know, invites all the girls over because of the controversy that she's been having due to her, you can say her mouth, since she's been talking on her show and stuff, but she's pretty much explained that it's for, you know, the storyline and for pretty much the Raw and SmackDown. But a lot of the girls didn't feel about that. How did you guys feel overall over the trip?
Overall for the trip.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if it was a trip, like an enjoyable trip. I think it was more like of a let's do some, you know, activities kind of thing. And I think Sonya and Nattie were not ready for that. I think they really wanted to like, hey, let's go have fun and get to know each other and talk and drink and eat and stuff like that. You know, that's what a trip I believe they thought that they were going to. So, you know, Ronda had all these activities for them and crazy activities, like basically surviving skill activities.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She was so into all that. I was like, oh, I mean, it's good. It's really good. But, I mean, just not at the moment. I think they just really wanted to just hang out and just really kind of bond and get to know each other. And I think Sonya was more nervous because she just wanted to get to that point of, like, let's talk about what happened, you know? And I don't think she was getting that at the moment. So she was kind of, you could tell a little bit that she was just kind of like, oh, I don't want to be there all the way, but
she was a little bit reserved.
Yeah, she was a little bit reserved.
Ollie, I want to know what you thought about, you know, Ronda's thoughts about the world ending and survival skills, and this is why you have to prepare for all of this.
Well, I do love me a good zombie film. However, it was kind of endearing in a sense to see that kind of side of Ronda, because I would not expect that at all. But also, just making me a little depressed, a little paranoid about the current state of our world and global warming and how we might get taken over by like vaccinations or what medications not working anymore.
What did you say? Ibuprofen or something?
Something.
Or antibiotics. Yeah.
Basically, we're all doomed according to Ronda Rousey. But I was here for it, and poor Nattie's probably having a panic attack inside. We can't see it, but she's probably having.
They both looked like they were like, "What is going on?"
Yeah,
it was funny. It was also cool. I mean, I would prefer to go to like Trinity's trip. You know, that's a girl's trip.
That's a.
But if Ronda Rousey invites you up in the mountains of Big Bear, I think it was, or something.
It was in Big
to
Bear.
her house. I'd be so down. Let me shoot that bow.
Right.
I am kind of against hunting, but you know, to each his own. You know, I'm a little like, I love animals. I don't want to kill animals, but I'll shoot a tree. Like Nattie.
See, the thing that's confusing to me is she loves her animals and she really takes care of them, but then she hunts them.
I guess, but also that's like what Nattie said, the self-sustaining ability of
lifestyle, you can say.
Right. She's paranoid about the end of the world, so I guess it makes sense. But I love my animals. I don't want to shoot them. By any means, I will eat them maybe, but
yeah.
But yeah, it was really interesting to kind of see how I just expected more of a girl show, more girls. Carmella not coming, which we'll talk about, but also Trinity wasn't there, so I guess it gave him more time to kind of like delve into Sonya and how she's feeling towards Ronda and possibly feeling overshadowed by her or not respected by her.
Right. I feel like for me there was another person missing. It took me a little bit to really get into this trip because it just seemed awkward. I could feel the awkwardness between Sonya not wanting to be there and her reservations, and then Nattie is pretty awkward herself. So I don't think she made the situation a little bit better. That's why I think Sonya was a little bit upset that Carmella didn't show up, which we'll talk about what she was doing after that. And then Nia, what was Nia's Nia was at the fashion show as well. But overall, this trip, I thought it was cool, you know, the activities that they did. I think towards the end of this trip, we did see them open up a little bit more.
They got loose a little bit more.
Yes, and I really like the fact that we saw them see a different side of Ronda, or at least Sonya, because Nattie has spent so much time with her. So I think it was interesting to see that, but I felt like the whole purpose of this trip, it didn't really happen.
Yeah.
You know? Right. Because a lot of the girls didn't show up.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, where do you go from here?
Yeah, right. Literally the only person that really got to know a different side of her was Sonya, because like you said, Nat is always hanging out with her. You know, they're really close.
And it's funny how they're so close, yet they're so different. Nattie and Ronda.
So different.
Yeah.
Completely
so different. It's insane.
And Nattie, she doesn't like her dog.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Nattie's pranks, or I don't know what you want to call it. And she's really into trying to convince Ronda and her husband about their dog.
Right?
It was insane.
It was so weird. Even Sonya was like, I've seen a lot of weird stuff, but this is weird. Like, you're weird.
The peanut butter between her legs. Nattie. I got a good chuckle from it.
Me too.
I did too.
Let's be real. That was the most interesting storyline in this episode. Yeah. Nattie and the dogs and trying to gain the trust and prove to Ronda.
They probably told her, like, this isn't, like, as exciting. You know, we have to do something different. Let's put peanut butter.
I love how she's so down Nattie's so down for anything in and outside of wrestling. She's the best. She's just amazing. She's hilarious. And she has such a good heart. You could tell.
Yeah.
I know.
I just think she just loves making people laugh, and I think to her she probably wasn't seeing anything. Maybe they were both just, Sonya was being really reserved. Ronda was trying to figure out ways to kind of get them involved. So probably Nat saw that it wasn't going very well. So she's like, let me do something crazy, funny out of here, you know, to make these girls laugh or make the group laugh.
Yeah.
Stuff, so.
Do you feel like if the other girls would have shown up, it would have been a little bit more different?
Oh, yes, for sure.
It would have been more,
I think so.
less awkward, more interesting.
Right.
But they would have screwed up the house. They would have been throwing like plates.
yes.
You know, that house looks spotless, mind you. I was like, dang, in the mountains. How does she? I mean, if you're Ronda Rousey, you probably have lots of money to have a housekeeper. But anyway, I digress.
Right.
But yeah.
But what did you guys think about that conversation between Sonya and Ronda? I know, Jen, you had said that it wasn't enough for you. What else did you want from that?
I don't know. I think I felt like it was just so quick. Like, she was running out of breath. And she was like, hold on, I want to talk to you. Like, you know, talk about this, about what happened. And I don't know. I felt like that kind of conversation, especially what was said from both of them, needed to be somewhere where they were both sitting down and just kind of be like, hey, this is how I felt about this, and this is how I felt about this, and just, I don't know, I felt like it was just too rushed. I don't know, I felt like it was kind of edited out. It was just kind of like, okay, let's get to the point, the episode's ending, you guys are friends again, and let's move on from it.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
I don't know. I mean, the way they made it seem last week, I felt like the half of the episode was going to be about that conversation and that trip.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that. So
Yeah. So were you a little bit disappointed?
I was a little bit disappointed because I feel like there was more to talk about, to be honest.
Yeah,
For sure. And I think it was just like a little like, hey, you said this? Okay, sorry. Oh, thank you for saying it in my face. Let's hug it out. Bye.
Ollie, I know you watch wrestling, so I want to ask you about this. We did hear a little bit about Ronda saying, or Sonya actually telling her, I want a match before you leave. Why do you think, we've been asking this all around in all of our wrestling shows, do you really think Ronda Rousey is now really planning her family and is pregnant maybe? Why do you think that, or do you think she already had planned to leave after WrestleMania?
I think she was the whole time throughout that. I definitely believe like the whole time she was going to be gone after WrestleMania. She was dropping the belt. But I think she was kind of conflicted. She wants the family. We already know that, but I don't think she was sure whether she wanted to start that family. Predictions, I don't know. But I don't think she's pregnant. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
I don't think she's pregnant, actually. I think she's kind of come back more sooner than we think, actually, because I feel the way that I know this is like not Total Divas, the way that it's going, I'm kind of thinking.
No, but it's related.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, I don't know. I think she's trying to like also maybe not screw with us, just keep us on our toes. I really don't think that she's trying to make us seem like she wants to have the family, but I think we're gonna see Ronda back soon, especially if she has ties to Total Divas.
Really?
And the Bellas are gone. So Ronda is the person that people want to tune in. They're making it seem like they want to tune in for Ronda. So I think she's going to be back sooner than we think, personally.
Yeah.
But she wants that family still at the same time.
Well, now that you say that, in this past Monday, they did kind of tease Ronda a little bit in the Becky, you know, that storyline and that promo with Shayna, because Shayna's best friends with Ronda. So it's interesting to see Ronda's name being mentioned so much on Raw, because we haven't seen her wrestle since WrestleMania. So it's almost going to be a year. WrestleMania is every April.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see. Maybe we will see Ronda Rousey back in the ring. So maybe that you guys think she'll be on the next season of Total Divas?
I think so.
I think so too.
I think so.
I feel like she still has to be tied with the company somehow. I mean,
if she's not wrestling.
Right. If you think about it, the Bellas haven't wrestled in a very long time either, and they're still with the company. So even if she's just like an ambassador, which is what the Bellas are.
Most of them
are, So I think we still have a lot to see from Ronda Rousey. And again, she's so good with this platform that she just makes this a little bit more better. But again, we've been talking about the Bellas so much, and I was so excited that they're back. And we see, Nia go to their fashion show, which is for Fashion Week in Arizona. Were you guys as excited to see the Bellas come back a little bit?
Yes. Jen's like, oh, I thought you were like, no.
No, yeah, of course. The Bellas are the ones that started all this. Without them, I don't think we would have many shows.
It was Nattie. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, Nattie, the Bellas and everything. We wouldn't have some of these shows and stuff. They play a big part on this, But I was really excited to see them. I'm really excited for all the work that they're doing and all the businesses that they're doing. And they just seem so happy, like so relaxed, so just, you know, like, I mean, businesses obviously take your time and your energy, but they just seem so much happier. Like, it's insane how happy they both seem. Brie and Nikki, they just seem so happy, and it's just good for them. Really
Someone else who did return was Paige. So,
Right.
what do you feel about seeing Paige again?
Oh my gosh, it's so sad with Paige and the Bellas. Like, it's just sad knowing that they're not gonna ever really return. There's like always hints, like, oh, possibly back in the ring, but like their injuries and Nikki and Paige's but Brie, you know, there's always maybe
right.
No, but it was really refreshing, to be honest, to see them back, especially Paige. I know Bella's like the Bellas. I feel like we'll always kind of have ties to Total Divas. Maybe like we'll see an appearance.
Yeah.
But we do have Total Bellas.
Of course.
But yeah, it was nice because it's just a reminder that there's so many women in WWE, and I just wish that there were more women in the cast this season because there's so many amazing women that aren't being used and that should be used, or even just be used on Total Divas because we want to get to know them. And I just think that there's so much room to more stories to be told. And it was refreshing to see these girls when there wasn't a whole lot going on in this episode.
Yeah.
Do you guys think the other divas would want to be a part of this show?
I feel like there's some.
Like Becky Lynch, Charlotte. I don't know, like those big ones.
Maybe Charlotte. Charlotte, maybe.
That's a good question.
I wonder if they were asked, a lot of them. Not only them two, but just the rest of the others.
No, that's a very good question just because of their schedules. Because those are the women that are being used on TV in the ring. So I wonder, I mean, Ronda did it, for crying out loud. But I don't know. That's a really good question. I wonder.
Right.
I would say no, just because of they also want to maybe.
Because they're more in demand, probably.
And they want to protect themselves, maybe, because they're always on TV. But I mean, Ronda got away with it, so
because I was actually very surprised when Ronda decided to be on Total Divas. Even when she wasn't a cast member, I was surprised she let sometimes the conversations get filmed because she's you know, for most of the time, she was very private, right. So I was really surprised, and then when she got cast and she was gonna be a regular on the season, I was like, oh wow, okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I think it's about finding a happy medium. I think it was the same thing with Brian and Brie. Brian was not very fond of the cameras or anything like that. True. So I think it has to do with the person and really them trying to show a little bit of this side and show a little bit of that side. Right. So I think it just depends. I don't know. For those of you in the chat, let us know who you would like to see on the next seasons, or who in the locker room who you feel like would make a really good cast member for this show, because I feel like there is a lot of people who would make a good cast member. I feel like Sasha Banks would, especially with everything that she went through this past year. It would have been amazing to see that on film. Yeah.
I'm not against it at all. I want it to work. I want it to work for their schedules, absolutely, because it'd be so cool. I didn't even think about Sasha would be so cool to see because the Chronicle, right? The Chronicle.
Yeah.
Whew, I love Sasha so much.
Even just those little chronicles on the WWE Network, they have these little documentaries where they film what's happening between a certain period, and those things are so they hit so close to home. And those are my favorite things to watch. So I think seeing it on a reality show, it would make us relate more to the women wrestlers and really what they go through. Right. So I think it would bring more eyes to women's wrestling.
Yeah, it would be exciting. Just a thought.
Yeah.
Totally.
WWE, we want to do that.
Thanks for asking that question. See, that was
Jen,
the most interesting.
I don't know why.
Thank you. That was the best combo we had this episode. More entertaining the episode.
I know, right?
It was a good episode. Yeah. But I like this conversation better.
No, right. But there was a little bit of an intense conversation that we saw in this episode, which was Nia confessing, her emotions, really what she's been going through. And I think this episode was the first time that actually fell for Nia. Did you guys feel the same way?
No.
Really?
No. She said it herself. I mean, we've had this conversation the last 2 episodes. Yes, it probably felt a little bit more, I think, more passionate because she was talking to a friend that she can really trust. But I think that, you've said this many times. You've had other people besides Nikki and Brie around you that love you too. And how come is it that when Nikki and Brie tell you something, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. I don't know. It's just that's me being shady, probably.
No, you're fine. Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion.
I didn't really feel it for her.
Yeah, I do agree. Drink your tea, Allie. Drink your tea.
Maybe it was too much tea.
The tea is hot today.
No, but I do agree. I think one of the things that she said in this conversation that did bug me was the fact that she's like, oh yeah, you know, I do hang out with like Carmella and Sonya, but like I don't like really get along with them like I do. Like that's not fair.
No.
I feel like in that way she's being two-faced, and then she's gonna try to be like really cool with like not Carmella, with Sonya, and who else was it? It was, I don't know, she mentioned someone else. But I think it's, as a friend, you know, just because, and to me, it's like, just because the Bellas are up here, that's why I think she said it. And maybe because the other girls aren't. And I don't know. It didn't seem authentic to me.
Yeah, it didn't. That's why, and that's exactly why I didn't like that either, because she just made like the other girls seem like they were just like nothing.
Exactly.
And it's just like, those are the girls that you work with every day.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't see Nikki and Brie every day. Those are the girls you work with every day. Try to get along. Carmella tried, and you just like dismissed her right in front of everybody. You made her feel bad. So, and they still didn't like squash any of their beef. They still haven't talked, you know? So, I don't know. I just don't really like it.
What do you think, Ollie?
I mean, I think sometimes you need that outside force to talk to, and I think that's kind of what the Bellas represented tonight in that sense. So maybe she feels like she can't confide in the other girls, especially knowing what Nikki went through, obviously, with her injury. But so in defense to Nia in that sense, but also Nia, I mean, she is going through this injury, and she's, you know, been with the company for so long. She hasn't been really like taking time off, you know? So I feel like, I don't know. I to me, it's like your career's not over. So I don't understand why she lashes out on everyone so much. I mean, think of like what Nikki went through. Think of what Paige went through.
Exactly.
Like Nia, I know she has no ACL like in her knee, but at the same time, Nia, your career is, I would like to say, I would want it to say that it's just getting started. And breathe. You're like, you know how many women would want to be in your position. You know, I don't think she has it that hard. I honestly just think this sounds horrible. Maybe she needed not this injury, but maybe she just needs this time off, which she eventually gets, to really kind of recollect herself. Right. Similar to Sasha, for example.
Yeah.
And I think we all need that. Sometimes when you're working too much over and over and over, sometimes your body's just like, hey, hold on, I'm trying to catch up. You know? It could be with anything. And I think that's what she needed. I think she just needs to give herself some time. Like you said, when you're part of that WWE universe, you never go away from it. You can never go away from it. Yeah. And Nia's a big character. Like, you know, we might not see her fight all the time, but she's a big part of the WWE. So I don't think that her taking some time off is going to be like, oh, I completely forgot about you. It's only going to make her stronger, and she's only going to come back stronger.
Right. So. I think the thing is that's confusing, you can say, is the fact that she talks so much about, like, you know, the past 5 years she's wrestled nonstop. Right. And then she complains about not having a storyline or not knowing where her career is going, but she's been wrestling. Do you know how many girls in that locker room don't even get TV time?
Right.
In the past 5 years, maybe get like once or twice, maybe 3 or 4 times.
And they're still there.
Exactly. So I think it's really hard for people to like connect with her, because there's a lot of sides that we're seeing from her. So now that she's trying to show that soft side, it's hard to believe because of the things that she's saying.
I mean, she's, in the past 5 years, she's been on WrestleMania. She's had all these great moments. She's been in the Royal Rumble,
in the men's Royal Rumble.
Come on. Yeah. And she's been in the women's Royal Rumble. Yeah. Come on. She's done some amazing things, and I think she needs to remember that and kind of humble herself.
Yes,
now that you bring this up, I'm like, oh yeah, Nia, you've been like throwing, like, you threw like Dan Ambrose, like you threw him around, you know,
broken barriers.
Like she really has, and you know, she's gotten like the tag. Sure, she didn't get the tag team titles, but I mean, she was in there, right? She's been on TV, and she's been doing these great things. So it is a shame, because there's other women that I can name that haven't had those opportunities.
Me too. There's
those
a lot.
Opportunities.
Exactly.
Dana Brooke, no, but like it's sad, and those women deserve opportunities.
Yeah. So I think also the Bellas were just kind of nodding their head when she was talking about Carmella, and when she was like, you know, it kind of sounds cold, and Nikki was like, yeah, it does sound cold, and it is cold, because again, we've said this so many times, if you don't get along with someone, that's fine, but you don't have to be that mean and ruin her work ethic. Maybe she has a different type of like work style that you don't agree with, but she's still representing. You're still under the same division. You guys are still working towards the same
for a
thing.
reason. I mean, she's good at something if she's there. I don't think they're just gonna be like, "Hey, you come over here."
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna be the next one.
So I think she's still pushing her down in that sense, and it's not really fair if all she lashes out about is against Ronda is like, "Oh, you're talking bad about our women's division and everything that we worked so hard for," but you're doing the same thing with Carmella.
Right.
So why is that okay? And why is it doesn't make any sense. So I think Nia's just really confusing this season.
She just needs to maybe take a break from Total Divas even.
I think she just needs a little break.
Vacation,
Right.
But I will say it was cool seeing her in the fashion show. Like,
Yeah.
saving
Oh, it
grace,
was.
silver lining. I'm like, work Nia, work
Yes.
Paige. It was so
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, it was. I think it was really cool to see all of them together and reuniting.
And I felt like she felt happy, because she had her friends that she's worked with for such a long time.
Right.
And I get it, when you don't have the same people or you don't have that support, or you think you don't have that support, you can go down on yourself. But, it was nice seeing her having fun with the Bellas.
And
so.
Brie mode.
Brie mode.
Oh, I was going to say that. Oh, my
Yes.
God.
Oh, my
Brie
God.
mode. I just love
My
Brie mode.
God.
Wait, I do have a question. I'm sorry. I have to
What's
ask
up?
this. Artem or Corey Graves? Artem is so sexy.
Artem?
I'm so sorry.
Artem over...
Corey
yeah.
Graves.
No, Artem.
I was like, Artem and Nikki, you're so lucky. Artem's lucky.
No, Artem is cute too, though. But
But Artem... I've watched Artem on Dancing with the Stars and just... Yeah.
No words can describe.
No.
My
He's a
Graves.
dancer. No, he's a dancer.
the jealousy I feel.
Yeah.
I digress. I just had to bring that up.
Well, speaking of Corey Graves, someone who's really enjoying Corey Graves is Carmella.
And J-Lo over here.
Yeah, J-Lo's living for this relationship. But your girl's a liar on this episode.
she sure is.
She is throwing lies.
But I do have to give it to her. I think we've all been victims of this, or we've been liars, and where we want to hang out with a guy, especially when you're first starting to him, and you lie to your friends, and just want to spend time with them, and just be like, hey, I can't make it, I'm sick, or I'm working. You're hanging out with your guy,
Yeah.
So I don't blame her. I mean, she should have just said it. Even the girls were like, we get it. You want to be with your man, your new man. So, why not tell us the truth? But, yeah.
I actually really did like the way Corey was in this episode and how he was kind of like, being the little angel on Carmella's shoulder, saying, telling her what to do and like the right thing to do.
Right.
But it was just interesting to see the way she approached the situation. Ollie, would you have done the same thing?
If I was Corey or Carmella?
Carmella.
Oh, if I was Carmella, I would be honest, like, girl, it's going to be on TV in a couple months. And it's like, you cannot lie when you're, I can't come. They're in Big Bear. You're in Florida. Like, just say you're not coming, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot lie. Social media, Snapchat, stories, you can't post, unless she's not posting, but come on, Carmella.
Yeah.
Just I know she has to, like, learn her lesson through Corey in this episode. But just be upfront. You gotta be like Ronda. Everyone just be upfront. That's all I gotta say.
Right.
Just keep it real. You can't lie, especially if you're in this business. You just can't.
Yeah.
We're gonna see you on Total Divas in a couple months, like I just said.
Yeah, but that was in a couple months. By that time, she'll be like, hey guys, sorry, I couldn't hang out that day.
Yeah, not just that though, like that wouldn't have been like what she would have been known for. Like, oh yeah, I remember that time where you lied to us and this and that. So it would have been like a bad look for her.
That's true.
She should have just been honest in the beginning. I think I felt more bad for the girls, especially Ronda, because she was really trying really hard to make this work, to show the girls who she really was.
A different side of her.
Yeah, and I don't think the girls took her seriously.
I don't think so either. That, or they just probably just didn't want to get to know her right now. I think right now they're just kind of like, they're walking on eggshells around her, thinking like, oh, is she really like this?
Really?
But I think, I don't know, but maybe after this trip, after Sonya and Nattie come back and, they talk, maybe they'll I'm hoping for another trip. Maybe not a surviving skills trip. Maybe more of a fun trip. But, another one that could be all the girls included.
I just want to know if something was really up with Trinity's house.
Right, exactly.
What was the tea on that one? 'Cause she was MIA in this episode.
She did.
She's been MIA.
Everyone was gone. Well, everyone was there except for Trinity. I'm like,
that's interesting.
But yeah,
You're right.
I just wanted. I think the Riot Squad would have been fun up in that party.
Yes.
That
Oh,
girl
yeah.
trip. But no, but I think maybe
Liv.
the silver lining, because you know I like to look for the silver linings, is that if Carmella was there, maybe Sonya and Ronda wouldn't have had their brief exchange.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But I think their exchange, going back to the exchange that they had when they talked it out, it was cute to see Ronda. It was cute to see Ronda say that she had respect for Sonya.
Right.
Yeah.
For being,
of course.
you were in that cage. If you're in the cage, like, I have respect for you.
Yeah. I think it was enough for
'Cause
Sonya. Like, that was, and whatever she said, it was enough for her. She was
Absolutely.
like,
Right.
wow, like, this is what I needed. And
Right.
there, we're good.
And I think they just really just wanted to kind of squash that already.
Right.
Yeah.
I think for both of them from the beginning, it must have been really uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
how do we go on from this trip without talking about this?
Exactly.
You know, because it's like Sonya's like, well, I'm in her house, I'm in her territory, and then Sonya's like, well, you're
Right.
in my house, you know, whatever.
We have enough to deal with
Yeah,
Naya.
exactly.
With Naya.
Exactly. But overall, I think this episode was a little bit slow. I wanted a little
Yeah.
bit more.
I
What
did
were you
too.
guys' thoughts? Like,
No, I
that was
agree.
pretty much everything. There wasn't
was.
anything too exciting. But was there a particular moment that you guys loved, or what did you miss? That since we wanted a little bit more, what would you guys want? What were you hoping for?
You already know what I was hoping for.
I know you
A
want to
little-
live.
Yes. But also, I did like the moment with Ronda when she became Hawkeye with the bow. I was like,
Yes.
damn,
Oh my God,
Ronda.
I
I
know.
will say, she got almost in the bullseye.
Skills.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
So it's cool to see that side. I think what's great about the show is that Total Divas is really letting us into Ronda's life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You know?
really enjoy that about this season, to be honest, you know, because I mean, I've known Ronda outside of the ring, or I mean, I don't know her, but
Like
I'm saying, like,
MMA.
we've
Yeah.
seen her, and
Right.
people are always like, the way they look at her is just such a bad person, or like
Yeah.
a villain and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've really gotten to know her. I feel like personally, I've gotten to
I
know
feel
her,
like
and
she's
I
a
like
very
that.
sincere person, sensitive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I would have never imagined that. So
Her
I
farm life, like
Exactly.
I can't, you
The
know,
chickens, the goats.
Yeah.
everything, and I love that she's all there. Like, she works there, she
Oh, yeah.
doesn't care. It's like, that's my life, this is what I do every day, and
Right.
like, hey,
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
glad
that.
we're able to see a little bit of everyone in this season.
Right.
A little bit of people, you know, who we obviously haven't seen, like Ronda Rousey, but also Sonya, you know, with everything that we've seen in this season. So let's see what else we're in for.
right,
Because the season's going by so fast. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but
Yeah, no, we're more than halfway.
more than
It's episode
halfway
6.
already. Yeah, so we only have 4 left.
I just
my
got
God,
here.
that's
I know.
insane. That's insane.
So, yeah, it sucks.
Don't
But
remind me.
Holidays.
are you guys ready for some shadiness?
Yes, we are.
Alrighty, let's start with our shadies moment.
Okay.
All right, Ollie, give it to me.
Well, I was talking to you. I hope I didn't steal it.
Okay, go ahead.
I feel like I stole it. I'm so sorry,
They're
Leslie.
looking at each other.
Okay, my shitty moment. I had to write it down. In the beginning, when Nattie was talking about Naya, about having valid reasons.
No, that wasn't
okay.
mine.
Good. Did I
That was
steal yours?
mine. No, but I have another one.
Okay. That was. I love seeing Nattie get shady because she's never shady.
God,
She has
yeah.
such a good heart, obviously. So I loved it when she just the cherry on top was sipping her iced coffee after she said it.
Yes.
I was just like.
But what
yes.
did she exactly say for people who don't
Oh
remember?
yeah, sorry. She was talking about how Naya can't come to the trip because she has a valid reason about being in the fashion show.
Yeah.
And she's like, usually this is the only time that she has a valid reason.
Yeah.
So I was living for the shade from Nattie. 'Cause we never get it.
I know, right? All right, Jen, what was your other shady
All
moment?
right, my other one was when at the beginning of the show, who asked Sonya? Oh, I think it was Nattie. Yeah, it was Nattie. It's like, are you excited to go to Rhonda's, house for the, get together? And she's like, yeah, I'm very excited. So she seemed like, oh, I don't know. So that was kind of shitty for
You
me.
just-
I was
you
like,
feel-
ooh,
Yeah.
the tension.
I know, right? I think for me, it was your favorite couple when Corey pretty much called out Carmella and was like, if you're lying to your friends, how do I know that you're not going to lie to me? So he was pretty much low-key calling her a liar.
Right.
Right.
And
'Cause
she was
like-
like, ew.
So sad. I didn't want to use that as my shady moment.
Because it's a fresh relationship. So
Yeah.
his feelings were valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like this side review.
I know. All right, now let's move on to our shady tweets.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
All right.
What do you guys
Let's
got
do
for us?
this.
Oh, okay, perfect. So this is from Jaybird. she or he says, I don't understand all the lying. Why are you being so dishonest about dumb stuff? Also, do you know you're on the TV show, right? All of this is being filmed and the girls are gonna see it and know that you lie to them. Hashtag Total Divas.
Agree. I think we were talking about
we just said that, so it was funny that you guys mentioned that. Okay, and then the next one was from Sonya herself. She goes, when Nattie acting like she won, but made one ball in when they were playing pool.
Oh, yeah, that was so funny.
So there's like a picture of her. Yeah. Oh, if you guys are listening on the podcast, go tune in on YouTube. So we see a picture of Sonya, of Nattie, of being all happy because she won.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I got some too. Okay.
Yes.
Gotta save me some. Okay, so this is tweeted out by Total Divas, the official account. It says, Sonya, let's talk about live, talking to Carmella. And then it says, Mela sees Corey. And it's this gif of Mela and her jaw is just dropped to the ground, basically. Because she literally saw Corey and she stopped talking and left Sonya hanging.
Yeah.
That was another shady moment.
Yes, that was
Shady.
And of course, last but not least, we have a fan tweet at Sharp Crawford. It says, Naya, you would have friends if you weren't so rude to everyone.
Agree. I love that one. Yes.
Hashtag Total Divas. Because,
It's true.
Where's the lie?
There is no lie there.
Exactly.
Just be nice. It's easy.
Yeah.
I
You
know.
get friends that way.
Right.
Pretty much. All right, Ollie, now give us some news.
Oh, yes.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Well, all the Divas fans and wrestling fans, there's some pretty big news out there recently. The most recent pay-per-view from WWE was Crown Jewel. It's in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
And obviously this is, was kind of built as an all-male, pay-per-view. Women weren't allowed to wrestle. But it was such a huge news. This was like last minute, too, when it was announced that Nattie from Total Divas, one of our favorite cat ladies ever, and Lacey Evans got to have a match at Crown Jewel, which was groundbreaking, making history.
Oh, wow.
And Nattie actually beat Lacey, and it was really cool. I love Lacey, by the way. And it really, for it not to have like evolution this year, I feel like it was progress to even have like the women be able to have a match in Saudi Arabia. They were in like full body suits to kind of like be conservative. They had their shirts on.
Wow.
And someone threw a water bottle at Nattie. I don't know,
Really?
which was sad, but
I
no.
didn't know that.
But despite that was the only hiccup. The crowd loved their match.
Yeah.
And they were popping and they were chanting, "This is awesome!" And to have that in Saudi Arabia, where I was afraid too, I was nervous when the match was first announced. I was like, we just had a water bottle.
Right.
But it was just a little scary as a fan. I want the women to be safe in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Right.
But just to have like such an outstanding match and the women, Nattie and Lacey, cry at the end.
Yeah,
and
it was beautiful.
That's great.
just to know that they made a difference and to have women also in the arena, just watching them make history. It was
my
it was
God,
beautiful.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, definitely.
It was super inspiring to see that and to see not only like the women cheering them on, but the men were actually
Right.
cheering them on too, and they were really into the match. So it was really
Aw.
beautiful to see that.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so if you haven't checked it out, you can obviously see it on YouTube, I'm sure, or on the WWE Network for only $9.99 a month.
And there's
Yes.
there's pictures, there's clips all over
Right.
social
Yeah,
media.
yeah. So
Oh,
I'm sure you
that's
can find
awesome.
it everywhere. So now let's go ahead and let's move on to next week. Since
Oh.
this week wasn't so much fun, we can say. Let's talk about our predictions because next week it seems to me like it's going to be pretty interesting.
Right. More shade.
And now,
More shade
your
for
AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Oh, man.
Ooh, okay.
Jen, you want to
Okay.
start?
Ooh, yes.
God. I mean, I don't want to say I'm hoping because I don't want it.
Oh gosh.
But I know for sure that kiss with Mandy and Sonya is gonna definitely cause drama between
The kind of like the hinted story.
well, can I
They're
predict
hinted-
something?
right.
Yes.
The storyline doesn't happen.
That just
Okay.
makes that's
Well, they're still probably gonna have issues. So
Right.
I mean,
right.
Ariana should know already by now that these are storylines. So why are you?
But like Ariana doesn't like anything of this business.
So I'm wondering how are they gonna resolve this?
Yeah,
you know,
that's
you
gonna
know,
be
that's
something
gonna
interesting.
be because if she knows these, I mean, she should know by now that these
Right.
are storylines. You know, so come on,
Yeah.
Figure that out.
That's the only thing that stood out to me in the preview. I agree she's going to have a problem, her girlfriend, Ariana. But I'm interested in seeing kind of how that played out. Because, clearly there was a storyline hinted with Mandy and Sonya possibly having a lesbian relationship. But, that was kind of dropped.
Yeah.
It was dropped. But, and I just want to know why. Or maybe it wasn't gelling. But it was, I mean, the fans wanted it. I'm sure I wanted it. And it's 2019, so it's like we can always have a gay, queer relationship in WWE, but it'll be interested in seeing how that unfolds.
Right. I think I agree with you guys. I'm mostly interested to see that. So we'll see what happens with this couple because they already had a couple bumps in the road. So we're going to see. I don't feel like it's going to be
just
pretty.
No more Mama. No more Mama Ariana.
No. What was her name? Mama D.
Yeah.
Mama D.
Please.
Alrighty. Ollie, let the people know where they can find you.
Hey guys, I'm Ollie Drennan. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ollie Dreamer.
You guys can follow me on all social medias at Jen_Lopez_89.
Okay.
Something to forget.
Alrighty. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at LeslieCologne_. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.